354?
I'm sorry, 358.
Okay, I was like, well, I think we're higher than that.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
358.
Yes.
We are here. Welcome to the show.
We are here.
Can I ask
Still
you
with the same
a personal
enthusiasm.
question?
Oh, yes.
I was thinking about this because I was remembering what it was like to be in your shoes of newly single after being married.
Yeah.
And I wonder...
They're high heel shoes now, you know. 'Cause some
Yes,
things, no, I'm kidding.
girl. Do you have waves of loneliness, or are you just like, whatever, freedom?
You know, I don't have waves of loneliness.
Wow, really? That's amazing.
Yeah. I'm doing pretty good. I'm trying to think of when I felt a little bit. I mean, sometimes the just everything that's involved in getting divorced, that's heavy. But that's just what, part of it. And I know it's just going to be tough, and I'm going to go through it, and it's going to be fine. And, it's like, I can't not have all that. Like, this is how you do it. You want to get divorced, you got to do this stuff.
I was thinking about how I didn't even at the time, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but at the time I was very active on Facebook, and I hated how many people were friends with both of us. I know you can't expect people to sort of pick a friend and all that, but it's still just it still to this day irks me. I'm just like, why are they still following him?
It is tough. Oh, right. Yeah, I think some people just don't ever go, it's kind of the same thing as we were talking about last week about how they, are dying for you to sign up for the, mailing list of anything, because most people don't unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Most
people aren't going around
never gone to the
people.
effort to unfriend. There are very few people that I've.
Yeah, good point.
Unless I'm like, oh, that's too painful to see.
But it's just this petty sort of thing that when you're going through a breakup, sometimes you think, oh, I don't like that.
Well, I will say sometimes I do feel lonely when, there are events or parties or stuff like that I just don't hear about or know about that normally I would have been invited to.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, well, I guess that's, I guess I got to find other. Yeah, that's just okay. Not going to those parties anymore, I guess, and that's fine because I got my own little.
Yeah, you have your own tribe.
My own tribe. Yeah.
We have to get the update on those baseball players.
Oh my
gosh!
Lives. Oh, Suze, I've been dying. I can't even believe it. So, okay, where do I even start?
Well, in the last episode, we talked about how your brother said there was this story about these two baseball players who swapped families and lives, and it sounds like not true. Okay, so not only is it true, but it was all over the news at the time there, and it was in 1973. They were two Yankee pitchers. That's the crazy part, that they both were the same position. Yeah, it's really weird. Okay, so their names are Fritz Peterson and Mike Keich, K-E-K-I-C-H, Keich, something like that. So they called a press conference one day and announced that they were trading families, including wives, children, and pets. And they kept arguing, don't make anything sorted out of this. This is not, this isn't a sex thing. We didn't swap wives, we swapped lives. And wow. Yeah, so I kept reading about it, and I kept and the sad thing is, it's not sad, but the unfortunate thing is, I think journalists at the time just didn't have the understanding of the mental health field did not have the understanding of what could be going on here. I don't have the understanding. What the heck?
Well, after I'm reading the stories, so there's one of the guys, I think it's Fritz. So he marries this woman, and they end up madly in love. So it seems like two of them really did have they're still married.
Oh, my God. They're still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they've been married for, oh, my God, something crazy, something 45 years or something like that.
So they fell in love, and they decided they wanted this situation and then had to convince the other two? Do you think?
I think yes. I think that is kind of in a way what happened, because it seemed kind of
Yeah, her name's Suzanne, and that was like the other guy's wife, and they swap. And it seemed like, the guy who had a successful marriage, he says, both of us were looking like we had, like by all standards, we had good marriages, but we were looking for something great. And the only way I would leave, right? And the only way I would leave my family would be if it were like earth-shattering, like this amazing love
the
kind of
heart
thing.
wants what it wants.
Yeah. But I think that he maybe was a narcissist who convinced this whole thing to go down, because the other guy, they could never work it out. Like him and her name was Marilyn, Fritz and Marilyn. They could never work it out, and they got divorced. Like they filed for separation, and they had to live separately for like a year before they could file like a whatever it's called, no contest divorce or whatever. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But where no fault divorce,
fault. Mm-hmm.
no fault. Yeah, and it just seems like, and then their baseball careers went downhill too after that. It just like totally destroyed. So like that's another story.
What the hell happened to the kids?
Well, okay, so one of them had 2 daughters, and the 2 daughters like couldn't really understand what was going on and kind of like lost connection to their dad. And he's the one that where everything worked, like his relationship with the wife worked, and he's like sacrificed his relationships with his daughters for that. And the other guy, they swapped like one child but not the other, because the other one was like, no, I want to be with mom. And then the couple that was like really in love, they wanted to move, like they moved to some other house, and then the other guy followed him because he's like, I want to be next to my kids. So it sounds like
Christ.
that guy was like pulling all the strings, right? And I want somebody to really like, I feel like this guy's like a narcissist who had all of them like convinced that this is the right thing to do, but it's really just to benefit him.
Yeah, he was real persuasive.
Yeah, and people started wondering because the wife of one of
Mike
stopped showing up. No, the wife
Fritz.
of Fritz, the other one, the one who she ended up leaving him. And then
every
I
time.
know,
yeah,
it's so it's real confusing. Even when I was reading it, I'm like, who's who?
Yeah.
People were noticing that she started showing up to baseball games in a different wig. Like she always wore a blonde wig that like her husband liked, and then she started showing up in a different one. People were like, what's that going about? And she was wearing it for the other guy. And then it became this whole thing where the wives were like competing to try to get the other one's attention. It was really bizarre. And I think it's oh my God. And like the wives like refused to comment and, on interviews and stuff like
Louise.
that. Yeah. It seems like,
when you first told me about it, it was just inconceivable. But then the more I think about it, I remember, and I think this is not unusual, where you find out your partner's cheating, and like you get a divorce, and the cheating couple gets married. Yeah. And then the betrayed partner ends up hooking up with the other person's spouse.
Correct.
Like Shania Twain did that. When Mutt Lange left her for the new woman, Shania ended up marrying the new woman's ex-husband.
Okay.
So it's not, dude, this is more extreme.
Yeah, but like even that example is the only thing that's extreme about that or the only thing that's different is that they got a divorce first. Well, yeah. And she met afterwards. Yeah.
And a lot of times if you've been betrayed and then the other person that's been betrayed, you can bond by that mutual pain.
Oh my God. That is what I'm trying really hard not to like in being like, fresh out of a divorce. I don't want to be paired up with somebody who we only connect on like talking about
bitching.
Like, yes, the exes right. Or like, what we deserve or what we should have had or whatever.
I think that happens quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, I was just watching this little video clip on a great this great like guy on Instagram I follow, and his account's called Create the Love, and he just says he's a really good, I don't know if he's a therapist, but he says all therapy stuff, and he's talking about what happens how some people come in our lives at a certain time for certain reasons, and that you have to understand the what brought you together, and you have to be okay with like when that. So if somebody comes to you and you start dating somebody who's recently gone through a breakup, and you're able to give them like to see them in a way that the other person didn't, and you're able to give them compassion and love and help heal them in a way that your role in their life was like to help heal them, and you can't expect that to translate into the kind of love where you're both going to be like supporting each other. I mean, maybe yes, but most of the time no. Where because one person it's really the needs of one person over the needs of the other, and then you become the helper for like the wrong reasons. Like you fall into the role of like, oh, I tend to do that where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna help them.
I'm gonna fix this. You're the fixer.
So then my role is like the helper or the fixer, and then that doesn't allow for me to really be the one who maybe needs like some fixing sometimes or some help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you should swap your partner, but you should definitely swap out your crappy furniture for some quality handcrafted Joybird furniture. It's made with care and precision. It's beautiful. Sometimes
Gorgeous.
I feel like, how we all follow those accounts on Instagram and we think, oh, I want my house to look like this or that. You can do it and do it affordably if you have a company like Joybird who skips the middleman, lets you order directly from online, and you can get the fabric of your dreams, whatever color you want. They have it. Bubblegum pink, hot red,
cool.
coral.
Even cool neutrals.
Really nice. They have rich, buttery leather ones, too.
I love those leather.
Beautiful.
Oh, my gosh. Yep.
And they have a range of kid and pet-friendly upholstery options so they won't get wrecked by your household. And they have design consultants, and they give you 365 days to try it at home and sit on it, sleep on it, break it in. If you don't love it, you can return it. See how Joybird can help you design your dream space. Make furniture your own at joybird.com/braincandy. Create the furniture that brings you joy today by going to joybird.com/braincandy. Go to joybird.com/braincandy and receive an exclusive offer for 25% off your first order by using code BRAINCANDY.
25%?
Yeah, man.
Oh my God.
You say that every time. It's
so
funny.
because that's like such a big, because I remember when I went and ordered something and it was not that much.
Oh, nice.
I used a code and I got 15% off, I think.
See,
and
this
now
is
I'm
better.
Like, 25.
Why aren't you using our code? Use our code.
Come on.
Yes, so that's a good deal. Go for that.
Yeah.
That story's crazy. I'm so glad your brother brought that to our attention.
Yeah, and I have the photo. I mean, I'll put this in the news article for sure because I'm like, it's so hard to keep all the names straight and all the players.
Yeah. They need like a chart.
They really, well, that's so funny you say that because one of the pictures has a chart. It's like this one went to this one, went to this one. That's so funny you say that. The article has that's really great.
Yeah, man, because it's hard to keep those things straight. It's like a soap opera,
Yeah. Oh my God, it totally is like real life telenovela.
I read this article though about a woman who caught her fiance cheating. Did we talk about this already? Where they were getting married and she found out that he was. I think I did, and she went up in front of the church.
Read the tweets.
Yes, read
Yeah.
his cheating text at the wedding.
That was ball ass.
I just thought of that. Oh my God! Can you?
Did we decide if we would or wouldn't do that?
We
said we wouldn't.
But I would really love to be at the wedding when that happened.
That was it. Yes, correct. Don't want to be the one doing it because that's petty. But, oh, God, what would you do? And I don't know if I said this on there before, but I went to a wedding once where the woman found out that her husband was cheating on her on their honeymoon.
Oh, man.
I mean, talk about a day late and a dollar short or whatever.
Right.
Like, you couldn't have found out 48 hours. And it was with a woman that he had gone to like elementary school with and knew like his whole life.
Oh Lord,
so
that's
it wasn't
the worst.
Even
like my best friend's wedding or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But like, okay, if you're married and you succumb to temptation or you're unhappy in your marriage but you don't want to get a divorce, like that's how I imagine a lot of cheating happens. But why, if you're cheating before you get married, are you still getting married?
Right.
Run for the hills.
Yeah. Or, I hear from, well, no, it's more like before they have a kid. But it's like where there's a little bit of an acting out. I hear from a lot of my friends and
So they're
that,
married
like,
and they don't have a kid, and the person cheats, or what?
well, then they're married. They don't have a kid yet, but then the woman gets pregnant, and it's like right before she's gonna. And there's like this panic that maybe they like they have that night where they like go out and get drink way too much and come back at 2:00 in the morning or whatever, or they like then they do something like you find out they maybe had an affair or something like that. Like things that there can be a little bit of like this anxiety that I think is it can be played out in kind of like negative ways by just anecdotally.
I don't think it ever is going to end well if you're cheating and then still get married. Like, that's never going to be like, oh, now I'm a changed person. Is it ever?
Yeah, but
I mean, you're clearly not happy.
I do kind of have this like once a cheater, always a cheater kind of like they have the potential to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I will proudly say I've never done that. I never cheated.
Yeah, I know. You're not a cheater. That's so nice.
I can't do it. Like, oh my God, I can't even. Oh, not even. I felt guilty, like, looking at, which is silly. I shouldn't think like that. But I couldn't do it and wouldn't want to. And so I don't think I ever would. And so I think somebody who has gone there, like, it gets easier to kind of go there.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I don't know.
I'm
but
not
I do
good
think
at
everybody
dumping
can
people.
change.
That's my problem. Is like I stay too long when I need to have gone a long time ago, and that's when I act out because I'm just like, get me out of here.
Correct. Yeah. You do things like maybe they'll self-sabotage. That's much more common. Yeah.
Right, but what you do is much healthier.
Yeah, I've only broken up with I guess I have broken up with a lot of people.
Yeah.
But there were like clear reasons sometimes.
Well, people date a lot longer now. People get married so much later.
Right.
There's so many more.
Even before, like when when I was younger and like not even thinking about marriage, but like just to like get in the practice of like dumping somebody. Ooh, that's hard to do.
My God, I can't do it.
It did. There was, yeah. And because, like, often the people that I broke up with, like, I saw good, there were things that I really liked about them. They're just not, the person that I want to, like, hang out with for forever.
Yeah. It's like that, remember that book, He's Just Not That Into You, that was so popular?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow, because women especially are just like, why doesn't he love me?
Right.
And that guy just being like, he's just not that into you, was so revolutionary, because we just can't accept that could be true.
Right. Like, have you seen me? I'm adorable.
Yeah. Adam wanted me to tell you, by the way, he wanted me to discuss that I've watched another 80s film that I hadn't seen before.
Oh, tell me.
Dirty Dancing.
What did you think?
I mean, it was really good. It was really
Come
good.
on. Isn't that such a good one?
Yeah, and I said to him, I cannot believe that I went 30 years without anyone spoiling the abortion subplot.
Oh, right.
I never knew that was even a thing. So it really
she
felt
goes
like,
and yes.
There was a lot to that film that I didn't expect. I didn't think it would be so deep.
It's so deep. It's so good. And come on, that dance, like, that is so sexy.
Are you into Patrick Swayze?
Well, I wasn't until I saw that, until I saw how his hips move, and I was like, damn.
Really?
Oh, my God. That guy knows how to bang.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, for sure. He is making sure you get yours, too. 100%.
Well,
look at that. The way he grabs those hips, please. And he's all strong, lifting her up in the air like that. Oh my God! Look, I'm like got marbles in my mouth. I'm getting so excited.
So, are you referring to the character or Patrick?
The
Johnny Castle or Patrick Swayze?
It's got to be Patrick Swayze, because I also saw Roadhouse. Wasn't he in Roadhouse?
Yeah, Roadhouse.
I saw Roadhouse recently, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, he's handsome. My husband has a man crush on him big time.
Oh, well, see, and your husband and I are so similar. Of course we'd both be into him. We have the same taste in men, too.
I mean, I think he's handsome, and of course he can move, or R.I.P.
You're not into it.
Yeah, like, it's a little too feminine for me. The dancing.
God.
It's a terrible thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think so. Oh, my God. I'm like, yeah.
Like, I get it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
definitely
I'm into
know
it.
what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about with him, though, and I think what it is it's a theatrical dancing.
Yeah.
It's like almost like a Broadway. Yes.
Yeah, and he was
then
trained classically, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see that, and he's got like the whole moves, and yeah.
It was a good
oh my
film,
God.
though.
I'm like totally just staring up at the ceiling, going somewhere in my mind right now. Oh, Susie, sorry, I'm here. I promise.
We were laughing because, like, basically her wardrobe before she was cool is what I wear in real life.
It's so great.
It really is. Which is weird because I also never knew that it's an 80s movie, but it's set in the 60s. And I never knew that because her entire wardrobe is not reflective of that time period.
Some of the dresses, but yeah, you're right. It does that's true.
It feels modern in terms of
It does
that.
feel like that. Yeah, it's only like the hints with like the...
With the other characters, yes.
Yeah.
But not with the... What's her face?
Interesting.
What are they? Baby?
Baby.
That's
Nobody
ridiculous.
puts baby in the corner. Yeah, that is ridiculous. That part I did think was silly. I'm like, why are we calling her that?
Yeah. I like that
Yeah.
at the end he called her Frances.
Yeah. Oh, my God. It's so good. That is the movie that I watched for the very first time when I first got dumped. And I...
First got dumped.
Yeah. When Land and I broke up the very first time, and I went to my new apartment, and I was like, I'm out of here. And I didn't even have the electricity turned on. I didn't have anything.
Oh,
I
man.
just had...
You just had Patrick.
I just had Dirty Dancing downloaded on my computer and Candles, and I watched it and cried, and it was so good.
See,
And I'm glad that you can enjoy
this
that
is what
too.
nostalgia can do for you. Like, take you back to another time, and that is why you need to try Legacy Box. If you have
Yes.
old home movies or photos, or maybe your parents do, hidden in the attic.
What if they're really good dancers and it's on video and you don't even know?
Yeah, and like I think this is a
Or
great
bad
idea.
dancers.
If
That's
you want,
also hilarious.
you can digitize all those old memories and then put them out on freaking like Throwback Thursday instead of
cool, yeah.
having them in your closet all the time. And like I said, it's great for a gift because our parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles, they don't have anything digitized, so you could send this to them. And there's never been a better time to digitally preserve your memories. So visit legacybox.com today to get started. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering our listeners an exclusive discount. Go to legacybox.com/brain and you get 40% off your first order. Go to legacybox.com/brain and save 40% today. Get started preserving your past. Super easy. You just put them in a box and send them to them, and they send you back. Okay. Dirty Dancing, checked that box.
Check. So funny. Update on the baseball players. Check.
Yes. Okay. Now, what do I want to talk? Oh, I was reading this article about, you know how we always talk about the inequality of men and women's workload and the invisible labor that so many women.
Oh, that old
do.
subject?
Yeah. There was another
familiar.
study that was done that said that time inequality was also present for teen boys and girls. It's not just
The what? The time inequality?
yeah, like the amount of time you put towards chores or labor.
For freaking sure it is.
And this
100%.
is the bonkers part too, that there is an allowance pay gap.
Okay, I can see this. And they're paying, oh my God, Suze, you're so right. Let's also think about the chores that boys stereotypically do that are like mowing the lawn or doing these outside labor stuff, and then babysitting that girls do. Babysitters, even though that's you should be getting paid 5 times as much for that, because for Christ's sake, you're keeping something alive.
Right.
And they definitely get paid less, and those other chores get paid more. I remember this.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, this is like, okay, I'm actually like, I'm like, my brain is going a million places. So I'm thinking about my mom and what she did when we were growing up, and she would pay me, no joke, 25 cents an hour to babysit. Like she would like pimp me out to her friends. Like, Sarah can
25
babysit.
cents?
I'm not kidding. There was a friend of hers that I babysat her children, and she paid me 25 cents. And my mom, I think my mom said it as a joke, but because she was like, you don't need to pay it. Like, don't pay it. My mom was like, don't worry. Like, she'll do it pro bono. I'm like, Mom.
No.
You're terrible. You're a terrible agent. And so then my mom would never, like, she would tell my boys, she would tell, like, my brothers, like, oh, I'll give you $5 to mow the lawn. And I think it's that it's the chore that she doesn't want to do, or she's labeled that in her head. That's something that I don't really like doing, but I watch kids, and that's no problem.
Yes.
So she's, in her mind, devalued it. Dude, I can see
cannot
this.
believe that there's a pay gap for teens.
This is totally, of course there is.
Do you think that also it's, in addition to perhaps it being about what the job is and how badly maybe the mom doesn't want to do it, but also the sense that, well, boys have to, I don't know, pay for dates or something?
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, I was thinking that. Like, once they're past a certain age of, like,
people think
you're
going to
need this because you're going out on a...
Because that's always the argument about why men make more at work, is they're seen as providers, whereas women's income is seen as just sort of an additional or complement the main income of the family.
Yeah. There's a great new movie that Mindy Kaling produced. It's on Netflix. Or no, it's on Amazon. And it's about a woman who's a nighttime talk show host.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, Late Night is it called?
Yes, Late Night. It's good. And there's one scene where one of her writers comes to her and says, so my wife just had a baby, and, I could really use the extra money, and so I'd really like a raise. And she, like, goes into this whole thing about what you're doing here right now is exactly why we have the, income inequality gap, because you're asking for a raise for the same reason that most women get fired, and blah, 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 and goes into this whole thing, and she ends up, like, firing him. And but the scene is so great, and I mean, the movie, it was good. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, that's
so. Shout out to that movie and Mindy Kaling for putting
We're not
awesome
shouting
stuff
out
in there.
movies.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that really bugs me. So if you have kids, just keep that in mind when you're paying them their little whatever.
Yeah.
What else?
I can't wait to make a chore chart. I'm like
Says
so
that.
excited. I do. I can't wait for like disciplinary things and like.
Do you think though that it's going to be like how when you got a dog that went out the window?
But it didn't.
Well, you said that. I'm not saying it about you. I think you're a great dog mom. But early on
I followed
with
through on
Sigmund,
discipline.
remember?
Oh, God.
Like,
no, he's impossible.
Remember you found out you were doing all the wrong things? Come on.
If I get a child like Sigmund, then all bets are off.
Yeah, that's
You're
what
right.
I got.
That. You're right. You know what? You're right. And then I'm just going to be like, here's an iPad. That's what I'm going to do. That'll be my parenting strategy. Because, forget it.
But if
with
you
Bo,
that wants
Bo, I
to,
can train, and she wants to learn, and she does everything. And so, when she had a little accident, or not an accident, I think she did it intentionally, and I had to scold her. And I follow through with my discipline when I know that it's gonna work, when it's effective.
Yeah,
I just did not find what was effective with Sigmund.
Right. So
nothing was effective with Sigmund.
Those chore charts, I mean, you're wasting your time if you get a kid.
You're
like
right.
mine.
If I don't have a child, that's totally true. What a good point. I'm going to have to, I just hope that I get a child who knows how to fall in line with a chore chart. That's really what I'm praying for over here.
You want another Sarah.
Yeah. How can I get that? God. And my mom didn't give us a chore chart growing up.
No, me neither.
And I was like, I wanted more than anything. I'm like, please, God, judge me and rate my behavior with stars, and please give me
you wanted it.
praise. All I wanted. I'm like, yeah. And then all I wanted that, and I wanted to go to a private school where I got to wear a uniform so bad. I'm like, what kid wants that?
That's really
exactly
strange.
that is what I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, nothing was expected of me. I had no chores. And I don't know how I became industrious and hardworking, because I was not required to do anything.
But So were the older children in your family like given the responsibility of like
not
who
really.
who was like okay,
No,
who's doing the chores?
I think she sort of was like you're saying, where you're like, oh, forget it, I'll just do it.
Oh gosh.
I mean, occasionally she might say, oh, sweep up the kitchen or something, but there was nothing.
Did like Renee babysit you guys?
No.
Oh, you guys were just like
It was just anarchy. It really
Anarchy.
was. I think,
Okay.
you know, when you're poor and you have a ton of kids, it is just survival.
okay, yeah.
There's no
It is different.
organization. That is different. That's one word for it.
Yeah, it's different.
But I mean, I'm grateful that somehow I picked up not to be lazy, maybe from watching my mom bust her ass.
Or I think it was a matter of like there's no other option.
Yeah,
in a
right.
house with 8, it's like. So I think about when we went on that camping trip in the Airstream, and it's 2 people and 2 dogs in 20 feet,
small space,
a
yeah.
small space, and I had to be so organized, and so like every single thing had to go back. You couldn't have anything out. You couldn't have a lot of personal items. So it made you kind of like clean up after yourself and do that, because it's like you have to, or your stuff's going to get like lost in the mix. Your favorite smiley faced zipper coin purse is going to accidentally get thrown away or something like that. You have to like create like order and structure for yourself. So that's probably maybe why you gravitate towards that or liked that.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, who knows?
Well, now I'm applying that hardworking spirit to using OpenFit and getting my butt in gear. By the way, I saw somebody put under a picture of me and you that we both need to eat a sandwich, which, by the way, thank you for saying. But
also, I love sandwiches. I eat them all the time.
That's
in
the
fact,
thing.
I had a burger for dinner last night.
We are eating lots of sandwiches. We're just also working out and trying to stay strong and, keep our bodies moving. Fall's coming. It's such a busy time of year, but you can get some change and get in a little routine. I think it's a good time of year to kind of start a routine because everyone's going back to school and all that jazz.
And get a good momentum going so that you don't burn out and like crash during the holidays.
Good
and you can kind of like,
get started now.
and be like throw the baby out with the bathwater kind of thing.
Yeah, you can do their Extend Bar workout, which is great because you can save all the money instead of getting a gym membership. They have a great new video called Rough Around the Edges with 6 badass stunt women, which is really cool.
So cool.
And you'll see results within the first 30 days. I know I did. OpenFit has changed the way I work out, and you can text their code BRAINCANDY to 303030, and you can join us on our fitness journey, personalized for you. Right now, during the OpenFit 30-Day Challenge, our listeners get a special extended 30-day free trial membership to OpenFit when you text 303030 and use the code BRAINCANDY. You'll get full access to OpenFit, all the workouts and nutrition information, totally free. Again, just text BRAINCANDY to 303030. Standard message and data rates may apply, but just so we're clear, this is basically like the Netflix of workout videos. So you can watch it on your Roku or a tablet or your TV or smartphone, wherever you are, a hotel or your house, wherever, and get your workout in without having to go to the gym, which is really cool.
And like, tag us or like, add us and or tweet us or whatever with the videos that you like, because I always like knowing what you guys like to do, and I like finding new videos like that. Like I would have never clicked on the bar ones had you not said anything about that, and then I'm like, oh right, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
so
great
sometimes
for, like,
I get
your
in like a
core.
workout rut, like I do the same thing over and over, and it's super important and good to mix it up and work out different, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So there you go.
There you go. I read an article about these people in San Francisco that, how it's so expensive to live there. And I imagine homelessness and things like that are a real problem because no one can afford housing in San Francisco. But
I was just having this conversation.
I mean, we think it's bad here, but it is worse there. And there's certain people are going into the neighborhoods where like the tech bro billionaires live, like Zuckerberg, and they're just going through their trash and living off the trash of billionaires.
Oh my God.
Which I guess is one way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, not the worst idea.
But it's just such a
You know
sad
what I want
thing.
to do is I want to go to all the Goodwill and Salvation Armies up there.
Ooh, can you imagine?
God, because they're all local stuff.
Ooh,
Dude.
that'd be good.
That's like almost worth a trip up there, Suze.
Right? What are we doing? Road trip.
Right. Road trip to SF.
Have you ever gone through someone's garbage?
Never in a million years. Not even my, like maybe my own once to find a retainer that I accidentally threw away or something.
Right.
Like, no. In fact, you know why? Because what is the thing that I hate the most, Susie? That I'm
things
grossed
that
out
scurry
by?
and also mysterious wetness.
Correct. And both of those things you can find in trash cans.
That's why I
Susie,
thought it was the scurry at first.
This is hilarious. That was the best, like, what is the Justin Timberlake, Jimmy Fallon best friend game? Like, we just crushed it right there. This is why you and I are the best ever at Pictionary or the best ever at, like, any of those things, because we already know. You know.
It's so funny.
Finish my sentences.
When we played that game for our Patreon where it was basically
that was
like
my favorite, the newlywed game. That was my favorite.
You had to answer what my biggest fear was, and you just said buried alive, which it absolutely is. And that's the same thing. It made me laugh that you know that.
Yeah. But then, like, but there was the funny part about that was, like, first I was like,
I know.
You were like my biggest fear, and I was like,
Don't
and I
write
had to
anything
preface it with
like
no,
failure.
like real fear, like not like fear of failure, blah, 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 which is like, you know.
And I had written failure, so I had to change it.
Because I knew exactly where your mind went with that. God, that's so funny. Where can people find that video?
That's on patreon.com/braincandy.
Oh my God.
By the way, we've done a whole revamping of our Patreon.
I'm so excited. It's going to be the best, people. We're bringing you
It's really
like
cool.
really cool, amazing content. People kept emailing. I'm just like going into this, Susie, and probably like running over everything you're going to say.
No, go ahead.
But so I've been getting emails. You know, I love being able to work with clients in California, and it's so great that the listeners have been contacting me and reaching out for therapy, and I'm so excited to start working with you guys. But there are a lot of people who live in other states, or maybe people who, you know, aren't ready to sit down and have a whole session or really like dive deep into it, but maybe have a question they want answered. And also, you know, we've got like 2 smart brains over here, and we've like, you know, dealt with a lot of shit in our life.
Yeah.
Good, bad, and others. And, you know, it's like, we want to share with you the things that have helped us and answer all your questions and, you know, put all these freaking like letters behind my name and Susie's name to good use. And so we're doing like what are we calling it? Reality check, Q&A, sort of weekly or periodic videos for you guys.
Yeah, I think it's such a great way, like, the idea is so good because we're going to, you know, if you want advice, like we joke about, like, are you going to cut bangs? Yes. We'll weigh in. And I just also love if we have guests on from reality TV that we're getting deep and talking about things that matter and things that they use to cope and do their life and start businesses or whatever. It's just so much more substantive than just
You're so much better at the elevator pitch than I am. I just get so excited. I'm like, and it's gonna be so much fun, and we're just like gonna talk, and you're gonna be there, and I'm gonna be there, and like Susie's like, here's what's really gonna happen.
But those things are true, and I just think this is a great way for our audience to enjoy the expertise and whatever approach that we have to advice, but also to, you know, we want to talk about pop culture and be irreverent and talk about reality TV, but we needed more substance.
Yes, and be able to like connect with you guys in a really deep way and turn our, you know, those like live Q&A kind of challenge content stuff we were doing. What that ended up being is a lot of us just talking about these things anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so now
especially
like, let's
book clubs
just like
that.
Yes, let's like dig in and dive in and really like connect and feel like a community. And it feels really good to, I mean, there's so many benefits to that.
Yeah, so go to patreon.com/braincandy to check it out. See if you want to sign up for one of the tiers. So fun.
Oh,
I love connecting with our little Brainiac community.
Me too. I just get so much out of it.
Well, I was reading this article about how, I mean, what we have with Patreon and our Brainiacs is similar to what a lot of people are getting out of like Facebook groups. Mm-hmm, you know, I think a lot of people have moved away from the way they used to use Facebook, but now they're into these private groups where, like even our Brainiac Emily, who was on Jeopardy, there's a Jeopardy women's group. Any woman that's been on Jeopardy is allowed to be in this group.
That's cool.
And so they have a community, and they probably have a lot of shared interests. And
my God, yes.
I just think that's cool, and it's almost like what you would get out of church.
Yeah.
Feeling like you have a group. And I think we have that with our brainiacs.
Absolutely. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Yes, that is so true.
But it makes people feel seen. And I think that can be a problem with social media is sometimes we just feel alone.
Yeah.
And it's nice to find a little spot in the ether where you're like, okay, these people know me. They get me.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Even better when we can have like, meetups and fun stuff like that.
And truly connect.
Yeah. I've got an event in San Diego you can come and check out.
Yeah.
September 21st.
That's fun.
Yes.
Oh, wait. That's going to be before this airs, so you'll have to just...
I had a great event in San Diego.
That's hilarious.
It's so fun to see you guys there.
I think that is going to be a fun event, though, but we'll have to find out from you next time.
Yes.
And when you're at the event, people are going to be working out, right?
Yes.
And they might need to stay hydrated.
They definitely will.
And if they want to stay hydrated, the best way to do that is Liquid IV.
Sure is.
It's a little packet of powder that you can just pour right into your water bottle or your drink, and it can help you deal with jet lag when you're traveling.
So good, yeah.
It's perfect to keep in your car, to give to your kids after their practices, or, if you're just out and about doing stuff, going to the gym, and it will hydrate you 2 to 3 times faster than water. They have it at Costco now, so you can get it there.
Oh, cool.
And it's just a healthy alternative to those sugary sports drinks, and it's just very convenient. We use it all the time in this household. We love Liquid IV. We know you will too. And right now our listeners get 25% off at liquidiv.com when you use our code CANDY at checkout. That's 25% off anything you order at Liquid IV's website. Go to liquidiv.com and enter our code CANDY to get your savings and start getting better hydration. That's liquidiv.com, promo code CANDY. Don't wait. Get properly hydrated today, Sarah.
Oh, so I am. Don't you worry. I use that stuff like crazy.
Okay. Next topic. There was a great article in the New York Times talking about how, I think the title was, why don't women have comebacks like Tiger Woods?
Oh.
Like basically making the argument that we're not permitted. Like if we fuck up and we
totally
are doing bad stuff, there is no like comeback story. And
that's totally true.
I would have to agree with that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anybody who... No, we like...
And they even used athletes as the example.
Yeah,
like there have been some...
Trying to think.
I don't know. I don't want to say Steffi Graf. I think I have the name wrong. There was a female tennis player that was, I think, doing drugs and getting into trouble. And it just ended her career. She lost all of her sponsors and all of that. And it was just the end of the story. Whereas with Tiger, I mean... He might have lost a few things, but he was in no way suffering due to his crazy meltdown. Right.
Yeah, that does. And I was just watching, oh my God, I love this show every year when it comes out. Training Camp. It's like on HBO, or it's called Hard Knocks, I think. No, maybe it was Training Camp. I can't remember. But no, it's called Hard Knocks Training Camp with the Oakland Raiders. That's what it's called. And so every year they take an NFL team and they... like showcase, like, like go in depth with the players in their like training camp right before. And there was one player for the Oakland Raiders who like had a problem with drugs, and now he's like crushing it, and he's like got the whole comeback story. And the reason why I like loved watching the show was like I wanted to hear about his comeback story and why like I was super into it. And I wonder if if I would even have the same reaction if it were a female. Like, I want to say that I would, but I don't. I think why are we so much, we're like more critical and harsh and then like label, like that's it.
Well, it seems to me that the standards are higher regardless for women, that we're expected to behave in an appropriate way.
Yes.
So,
and like to do that stuff to begin with.
Yeah, like the fall is greater.
Correct. Oh, totally.
Even
because
though,
like,
I mean, when that
I'm
Tiger
all about
thing,
second chances, but
yeah,
it's totally different. You're right.
I don't know. It just feels like we're so forgiving, and we love to hear that. They've got their act together. But with women, it's always like she's unhinged. It's kind of like that debate we were doing about is there anyone that's had a meltdown a la Charlie Sheen, who then was, it's similar. It's like, can they come back? And we had trouble.
I keep thinking of Roseanne, like that pops in my head, and how she didn't even, like, she had a few of those and never, like, it just made people not like her.
Yeah, hers kept getting worse, didn't it?
Worse, yeah.
And even when they had the revival and she was on it, it still felt like this is going to implode.
And it did.
Yeah, it sure did. So I'm not into that, but I like hearing things like that because it makes you more aware of the way that you think about women who have... For example, Lindsay Lohan. I'm not rooting for her, if I'm honest.
I know. That is what I was saying with the football player. Like, where I'm like, I don't know why. I'm not rooting for her either. Even though oh God, I wish I were. And because...
Like, it helps identify your own blind spots when you read stuff like that and you're like, yeah, I kind of am not rooting for her to have a comeback.
Right.
Every time she tries something, I'm like, oh boy. Maybe because it seems like she's...
However, I'm rooting for Britney.
True, I am rooting for Britney. But I don't think that story's going to get any better.
Me either. Mm-mm. Oh, God.
Do you think it's because she's not bright? Because, I mean, not to be mean.
She does kind of seem... it seems like she's... it's...
The lights aren't on there.
No, I agree. And I wonder if that's what happens when you kind of are in this weird... Like, you had a lot of your, like, maturation, like, stunted. And, and you weren't... And then, I mean, I did commercials for, like, a minute when I was younger.
Yeah.
I have some really funny headshots. And don't worry, I'll post them.
Yeah.
And I remember being on set and having, because you have to go to school on set and they have teachers there. They didn't teach me a frickin' thing. And it was like, here, do this worksheet. And they were so easy. Mm-hmm. And I just can't imagine her getting the kind of education that is the equivalent to even just the socialization. Mm-hmm. That even like somebody who has homeschools, they still have like a lot of those like events and activities and like,
Yeah, I mean,
good
to me, it's
homeschooling
kind of
parents are like active and all
if
stuff.
you have good parents, you're probably going to be okay.
Yeah. Oh, correct. Yeah.
But when there's dysfunction and things are not good,
you need some help sometimes.
My mom, she's like, I just watched this documentary about Marilyn Monroe, and she reminds me of you. And I'm like, oh, thanks.
Oh, God.
And she goes,
well, that's not what you want to hear.
Well, I'm thinking, like, what do you mean? Like, she's so pretty. And she's like, because she's like, was never happy.
Oh, I knew I was like, God, please don't say she was depressed. Yeah. Oh, no, Susie.
Well, I mean,
don't listen to her.
I mean, it's true though. I am. I'm always restless.
Yeah, that restlessness is your motivation towards like success.
Yeah, I channel it.
It's a good thing.
I know.
Yes, we can look
She's
at
like,
everything.
I just wish you were like when you were a kid, when you were so happy. I'm like, well, maybe that was the weird part.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not weird to feel that way as an adult when you realize, oh, the world's on fire. You know what I mean? Like, that was ignorance. That was joyful, but it was ignorant.
Yeah.
And now...
Oh, my God. Yeah, and good thing you could be a little bit like that in childhood, but...
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, even I am like a pretty happy, optimistic person and understand that I can come off as annoying.
My God.
I'm a little too excited, like, on the ride to Disneyland, and I get it. I got to, like, tone it down a bit, because nobody likes that. I really... Sarah, calm down. Calm down.
You know how we used to have that theory, and we still do, frankly, we just don't discuss it, about how what's inside your microwave is symbolic of your whole life.
100%.
I think that you could also make the argument that your freezer is one of those same litmus tests.
Correct.
There was like a really cute piece about it on Medium. It was just talking about kind of that idea, like what's in your freezer. And I thought, because depending on your life, there can be some real weird and old and gross things in there, or real healthy and yummy things.
What's in your freezer?
I mean, it's really clean and organized, and just the normal stuff. I guess the only weird thing is like an ice cube tray that's like, I think it's like Star Wars or something.
That's cool.
That makes like Star Wars ones.
You know what Susie always has, people? Multiple flavors of ice cream.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, not just one. You go over there and she's like, you want a sweet treat? And you're like, yeah. And she's like, would you like mint chip, chocolate chip, or
double fudge brownie?
Dough? Yes. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't even decide. There's so many options.
Yeah, you really had trouble choosing.
I did, because I like have never had that option. And you know, here's something I've learned from you.
Okay.
That went against what I thought would be the right way to do things.
Yeah.
So I thought for forever that if I just keep all of this stuff, like the like little delicious treats that I like, out of my house, that I will be healthier and I will do better.
And I think for a lot of people that does work.
Yes, totally. But I'm already like I'm not eating, like, step one, don't eat crap. Like, we're talking like so I'm already not eating crap. I'm eating like, the good stuff, but I just like won't have ice cream, and like that little extra thing. Or even like Ritz crackers, because I'm like, I can't control myself. I'll eat the whole sleeve. Yeah. Well, what I've learned is that when I do have it there, I eat less. And I only when
it's
I have
taboo.
like right. When I have like 3 different kinds of ice cream in there, I'll like have a little bit, and
Yeah, I mean, that's how I do it, and I think it works also with my son, because he doesn't think anything is like off limits. Like, we have a candy jar.
Oh my God, that's totally it. That is 100% it. Nothing's off limits. Susie. Yes.
Yeah, and then I think it does help train your body of like, just listen to your body. Like, if you're in the mood for something sweet, like, have something sweet.
It's so the right way to be eating, because I just had a really weird relationship with food growing up.
Yeah,
because my mom didn't have good eating, like, she wasn't consistent with her eating habits, and she would just like not eat all day and then like eat at night and all this stuff, and I just didn't pick. And then she would like try to say, no, we can't, like, she didn't have anything like that in the house. And then my brother like he would just go nuts. He was real sensitive to sugar and everything, and he just had ADHD, and the doctors told him that he was allergic to chocolate.
From what I've observed amongst people, it does feel like they pathologize sort of just normal human cravings for certain things. Yeah. And so they'll abstain, and then all of a sudden they can't take it anymore.
That's me.
And then they have like too much.
Right, that is totally me. That's what I would do. And it would be like, I'll go crazy. And like, I realized that the first night, I told you this, I spent the night at your house, and then I like had multiple trips to the pantry for your jar of M&Ms. Yeah. And after the first night, I was like, well, I don't want to do that anymore. And it was like I had OD'd on it, and I was like, no, I'm good. And I know it's there, and I don't have to have it. But it was like the first time I was like, it was kind of like when I would like go to spend the night at friends' houses, and they would have the sugary cereal.
Oh my God, I did
never
love
allowed to have that. And I was like, I want everything.
Oh my God. Yeah, remember how I told you growing up, my best friend Leah her family owned a chocolate factory.
Oh my God.
And like going over to her house, I just thought, I am in Camelot. This is amazing.
You are yes.
Right? It's magical. What's in your freezer right now? Anything you have?
Oh my God, this is funny. Yeah. So in my freezer, well, first of all, I was mad because like they didn't do a good job cleaning properly before.
Gross.
And I'm like protesting, and well, they're coming like this week to go come clean the house. Well, technically on the weekend, whatever. So I'm having somebody like come and like clean it all. But I don't even want to put any of my food in there because it still feels like it's got the old apartment people's like stuff on it.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I have in there, this is real funny. I have a box of Trader Joe's hash browns that I like to include in my breakfast. Yep, in my breakfast burrito. I have one thing of ice cream that's almost all the way out. That's like the good kind of ice cream, like gelato, not even.
Oh my God! Like, is it called
I went fancy
or whatever?
Yes,
I've never
I bought
had that.
Oh my God, it's so good. Get the double chocolate; it's amazing.
Okay.
And then in the ice tray is a rose quartz face roller.
Wow!
Yeah.
Where did you get it?
Like just like at like a, Ulta Beauty or whatever those like beauty. And
I've
it's like
heard
a little,
they're
like the little
amazing.
rollers. I notice a huge difference when I use it and like reduce puffing. This is not an ad. This is just
That's
like,
amazing.
And I just
That's
keep it in
funny.
the freezer because when it's cool
That's what
and
they
you like
say.
roll that under your eyes and like around
Yeah.
your jaw, it's kind of like, when you go get like a massage and you can feel the knots in your
Yeah.
back when they use them. When I roll it over my face, I can feel like the knots in my jaw, like in the muscles around my face, and then I roll it over and like breaks it all up, and I just feel like my skin is all glowier.
Does it
could all be in my head,
smell
but I
like
love it.
food though?
No, it's in my
Okay.
freezer.
You know
What do
how
mean?
that is. Sometimes when you put something in the freezer, it kind of
Yeah.
like takes on like
yeah.
a weird
Maybe
smell.
if I had a bunch of stuff in there, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope-
But if you
here's
asked
what
me
I
what was in
want.
my fridge before I moved,
Yeah.
holy crap.
It was stocked up.
So much stuff that we never ate. And then, like, Landon's mom would always come and I loved her for this, but we never ate it. I love the offer,
thought.
the thought, thank you. She would always bring over soup.
Oh,
So we had, like, 4
a
things
lot
of
of soup going on.
soup in there. Never ate.
I
She's like, it'll
want
be great.
our listeners to take a picture of their freezer and tag me in it. I'm dying to know what's in there. It's so weird. I've become obsessed with this.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I should like clean out my freezer and then take a picture of what's in there because it's like I don't want anybody to see what the.
Yeah, well, it's not your
not
fault.
my dirt. It's the other people. I just moved in, and I was like, this
We'll
is
forgive you.
not acceptable for me.
So
Yeah,
your
I couldn't take it
homework
with the dishwasher. I had
is
to clean it.
take a picture of your freezer,
Yes.
tag us in it, then subscribe and leave a 5-star review.
Do all those things.
And then we'll be back.
Suze, take a picture of your freezer.
Yeah, I will. I'll post
Yours
it
is
on
great.
our Instagram.
Yours is definitely worthy.
Yeah, I'm sure there's
Yours
some
is like
quirky stuff in there.
Yours is like the Giselle of refrigerator photos. So good
That's
looking.
great.
Yeah.
We'll see
model
what everyone has going on in there.
freezer.
And we'll see you next time, people.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. This podcast is brought to you by Wave Podcast Network. Check out all of our shows, including the Brain Candy Podcast, I Don't Get It, Coffee Convos, and Let's Talk About It.